We're almost there.
It's in alphabetical order.
We are. Can you stick your hand up so I see that?
I don't know if I just wave my hand down.
No, that's something standing over there.
Unless my arm is short.
I think this is just, this is the way.
All right, you can see Marin's sweater.
Yeah.
All right.
Here I am.
Yeah, this is old. This is in the past.
Oh,
I came back in and sat down.
That's why.
Oh,
Okay.
it's fine.
Yep, all right. So, I'd like to call the November 14th, 2022 meeting. Oh, yeah.
It's a bizarre lag. For watching YouTube, not him.
Yeah, you can close it.
So that's not, we don't need, we need the Zoom, have the YouTube.
Why does it say Zoom on the bottom right?
We don't know how to make this. So what do we do? We cancel the meeting? Well, we just do. Or we just don't resume.
Get somebody who wants to enter.
Well, I think you
Is that the top chair? Right. One of them.
Rick Andrew.
Right, so they'll.
Rick knows.
He's
No, Rick was testing it.
sucking all the bandwidth.
We look good. All right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, Rick, you can get out of
There
town.
you go. Now we're
Just close it. Oh,
I mean.
okay. Seems Rick either mutes his volume or he's out. You good?
I'm
You're good.
Now
Okay.
we all appreciate Nicole even more.
Exactly. Should have picked her up on my way in. So, the November 14th, 2022 meeting of the Town of Rochester Planning Board of Order. We'll start with the pledge to the flag.
It's to flag United States of
So, Zach Jarvis.
Here.
Rick Jones. Here. Mark Grasso. Present. Anne Marie.
Here.
Dorian. Present. Everybody could put their phones on mute, would be nice. Baron.
Yep.
Nicole Knapp is absent. Mary Lou is present. Liz is present. Oh, Patrick Williams is in. Oh, Aaron, I know. Started at. So the first item on the list is the continued application of Vinci Farms, which is also a continuation of the public hearing. But first, we'll start with response to CPL letter that was sent earlier last week.
I took the liberty of writing the condensed version of it that I'm happy to pass out with my response. If that
Sure,
works.
is that was in the email that you sent us?
No, I did this today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please pass it on.
And there's two. The second one is from the highway superintendent. Happy that one? If you could, please.
Thank you, sir.
And there's probably more than necessary for the issues.
If you could, just shoot it back.
Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I just. Here. Thank you. So you want to walk us through it?
Sure. Well, basically, there was a lot of repeats and a lot of language that just came over and over again. So I tried to condense this. I kept the same numbering. So we, you know, you can refer back to the letter.
Perfect.
They all,
Yep.
they all correspond. So with A1, the unclear parking space shown on lot 1,
Yep.
that I proposed, it ends with saying that the parcel is over the threshold necessary for parking, and I have to ask, why is more parking bad? We offer 6 parking spots on lot 1, and we would be required to have 2.
So I think what we're looking for is the usage on lot 2.
This would be lot 1. I'm talking about lot 1. So are you looking?
You need the. Sure.
I think the issue is that you have a non-residential use that I think the reason for the extra parking spaces is in case there's overflow from the non-residential use that you have extra spaces.
No, no, each lot is its own lot. There would be no overflow.
By definition.
Yeah, no,
I'm assuming these are all existing.
correct.
Yeah.
All right, well.
I mean, they're lot 2 has enough parking for, you know, a Def Leppard concert. It's like,
22
it's
cars.
not so over parked here.
Right.
So the last time that they came, ages before any of us were here, they said they had to have all this parking, which was never used. So, I mean, if anything, I'd say, we really don't need any parking.
So I guess the question is the board okay with the residential only lots having more parking than they might? Do you want spaces
It's
replenished?
there already, right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So really not a
They're already
concern.
there, so-
Okay.
Yeah, more as far as
Okay, that's good.
Whatever lot it is that has a need for a Def Leppard concert.
Well, I think that
Lot two.
answers that.
I'm okay with that. It requires special.
No, it's already approved.
The
The Def Leppard.
So that Leopard concert was already.
So basically, the
We're okay.
conclusion is playing.
Okay, so
That's
very
good.
good.
that would be A1 is that, A2 is also about parking. So it's the same, I would hope that works as well.
So I think we were looking for the calculations on how we come up with the calculations on that. There, that was the,
Yeah.
They're existing.
well, existing isn't a calculation, right?
Well, if it's functioning, I mean, if you want a full parking calculation,
I think that's what the ask was.
For which parking lot I'm confused?
what, is it for the lot
So-
2?
Yes, lot 2, it should say lot 2. That's very first.
But lot 2 is already approved for
Actually,
that parking, guys.
No, pre-exist, no, pre-existing.
Hang on, let-
No,
Stop.
Myron, I'm talking about when it starts paragraph 2, it says in reference to the non-residential lot 1. It should say non-residential lot 2. You know, it's,
Non-residential lot. Oh, okay.
Lot 2 also has residential. It also has
Yeah,
non-residential,
it's true.
yes.
Right, it's mixed.
It's mixed. These are left over from old comments. I
Right.
guess the idea here is just to have narrative with a rationale about how parking is done. That was the main reason.
Back then, I can answer to that, because it was 15 years ago. It's, the town had asked me to kind of guesstimate how many maximum people there could be in the building. And then they told me, okay, you need to have one parking lot for each of these people that you guess at maximum you will have. So that's why we had to create all these parking lots. So it was like, because we had like 12 officers, so total at the maximum, there could be 1% in each of them, so that's how they had us calculate.
Right,
Like,
so
So it's like the worst case scenario.
it was the worst case scenario, but as I was explaining a couple months ago, now there are only 2 people working in the building. So we are very, very far from the worst case scenario,
but hopefully in the future you will.
but
So,
I mean, never to that level.
so is it possible to get a narrative saying the calculation is based on, X number of people per parking space? Just the narrative and how you come to it. Yeah, I mean, it's not,
No,
it shouldn't be.
And I have a comment about number of the lots. It's again, the calculator is actually 54, but we are favoring 50.
I mean,
Number of lots, number of parking lots on the lot. On your plan, it says 52. But if you look at the number of people living on, it's 54.
Okay.
It's a
Should-
typo.
You're saying it should be 54?
Yeah, yeah. Look
So
at your number.
we're providing 54, but
No. You put some numbers, each.
this predates me, so I'm
Ah,
also
okay.
catching up.
Okay, I'm sorry, there are numbers around circle,
Mm-hmm,
there's a numbers. If you total them together,
mm-hmm.
they come up to 54 rather than 52.
Okay, I'll correct that.
So,
I'm just wondering if the board is satisfied with the commentary from the applicant. But maybe we don't need the narrative.
I prefer the narrative. We tend to miss things in the minutes occasionally, like that, and this way there's a back.
Okay, sure.
I believe A3, the comment about removing the building, to provide more parking. That's settled. On the-
A3
on lot
was,
two?
I'm sorry, I thought A3 was, what was the use of the separate studio and storage building?
Well, the comment is about removing it. It goes into, it says, what is the use, recommends removing the building, moving the storage into the other building and removing the building for more parking. That's what,
And actually, the updated comment, like review letter update comment is not addressing the response letter, so we just didn't happen.
Yeah. So,
lot 5 needs to be deleted from the phone. There is more than 5.
no, there's none.
is the building is being physically removed?
No.
No.
No,
No, it was suggested that we could remove it to add more parking. but
Ah,
I will
that
not
was
be-
back when we were asking for more, when they were asking for 5 lots. Now it's only 3. We have plenty of parking. We don't need to remove any.
There's plenty of parking.
And nothing needs to be added in parking. We don't need to remove any.
So that, I believe that covers A4 and A5. A6, that's asking for the narrative. You can. A7.
That also asked for, the hours of peak activity and things like that. as
I'm
well.
sorry, I'm having ear problems.
No worries. The question in A6 also asked for the hours of operation, peak hours, things like that.
Okay, yeah, the narrative.
Although there are 2 people working, so like peak hours is going to be a bit of,
Stretch.
On all four of
I have
them.
more guests coming for that.
A7 was marked as comment satisfied.
So you were asking for a waiver on the driveway width of 18 feet. You currently have 16 feet. So
That's A7B. Correct?
A7, right, you're asking for a waiver of the minimum driveway width of 18 feet. It's currently 16 feet. So
I would make a motion to give a waiver for the 18 feet to go to 16 feet because we
no,
have
see where,
a note from our highway superintendent here, the width of the driveway is adequate. There's no need to pave the entrance going off the Clay Hill Road. The location of turnarounds can be determined at a later date, and there are no issues with site distance. So given that our highway superintendent said the width of the driveway is adequate, I make a motion.
so we need that request of right for the waiver.
Okay.
And we can approve it
This does answer a
conditionally,
lot of questions.
or approve it conditionally on getting it in writing.
Absolutely, no problem.
So Marin's made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
I-
Opposed?
So that-
So. Hang on.
Wait, hang on, I want to catch up on the.
You gotta-
uh,
We don't have the secretary.
Driveway paving. These are all in bullets. Okay, I'll just figure it out.
My wrists are caught up or yours. Next one, okay. That was A7A.
That was comment satisfied. A7B is the one we just discussed. A7C,
That's the waiver.
That just, exactly, you just made a motion at, there was, we put the waiver in writing, we will add the waiver to the rest.
so, A7B also falls under the same.
Yep.
Yep.
Same thing, you don't need to do that.
Now, in the highway superintendent saying the location of turnarounds can be determined at a later date.
I've put them on the map already.
Yeah, okay, so did
They're
I,
there.
Please, sorry, I have a question about A7B. The turnaround for lot two. You don't have two cars. Shouldn't be kind of closer to the,
How far is it?
I think,
Brooklyn?
are you talking about the right of way?
no,
No.
turnaround.
The turnaround on lot 2? Is that what's up there?
Yeah, lot two, seems to me too far.
Why?
If vehicle counts, safety or whatever, they want to turn around closer to the end rather than backing up all the way to the middle of the garden.
Are you referring to the turn,
I think
the
you're.
500-foot rule that we use in New York State? It says you need a pull-off for emergency vehicles.
Yeah.
The turn-off, the turnaround would be at the end, something at the end. You don't need a turnaround in the middle of the road. You need-
And the lot one entrance is good enough for a turnaround.
No, but it's my point is, if you look at the lot two, to get to lot two, there is nothing around at the end.
There's,
There's an enormous parking lot there. That's an enormous parking lot you can turn around with.
Okay.
There's about 54 parking.
Because I was looking at one
spaces. That's a turnaround.
turnaround that,
No, that's the
lot
500,
three.
that's the 500-foot pull-off that you're thinking of.
Uh-huh.
Closer,
well, also.
for emergency vehicles. Is that
The
what
way
you're
that the
referring to?
Correct, so what's the difference in terms of purpose?
So you were asking about the 500-foot
A
turn.
pull-off is so you have one fire truck coming this way, another fire truck coming this way. They can't hit each other. One pulls off to the side.
Okay,
And when they get to the end, they turn around and then go back out of the fire truck. One is a turnaround, one is a pull-off, you don't
Okay.
need it.
I
Has
got it.
anybody looked at this, anybody drove out to the site, drove by it? The driveway is
There's
30 feet
enormous
wide.
room here.
It's fine,
There's enormous room.
I just misunderstood him.
So was that a comment
It's
on
fine.
the road?
Suspension.
I mean,
It's a good function.
I'm just looking
Doing
at
it.
the pull-off and the hammerheads. I don't know. I feel like there's enough, within the right of way, we have a way of coming up this road, if you had to use a pull off here, or turn around at the sort of triangle.
It was very limited.
Yeah, you've got the
Big
parking
parking lot.
Yeah,
spaces,
before.
So
so.
I think there's sufficient.
I mean, I can make a motion to send this to the fire department, see what they say. We should refer everything to the fire department. They used to refer everything to the fire department.
Before the decision.
If you like to do the old, because we're going to have enough time for them to give their 2 cents per also. Or,
Would you like to make that motion?
I
I
know,
don't think it's necessary.
all right, I mean, just everybody's satisfied, then.
I am.
Yeah, I'm satisfied also. I'm just gonna move it forward.
I'm satisfied. Next,
A7E, there was a suggestion of turning the right of way into a separate parcel. We are not interested in doing that.
So was there a question? Was this the one with the question on the record? No,
Can you just justify why you requested that? What are you thinking? I don't think we've ever. I don't remember any.
It's just a suggestion.
No, like, is there,
What-
Why?
What is?
Well, because it's basically, it's really an easement when you get down to it.
Right away.
It's an easement.
You're gonna do
Someone else's
meets and
property,
bounds.
don't you?
Yeah,
Separate lot. That's the question, if we're gonna own.
Right.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
right,
it
like
would
when
be
we
the lot
do
owners.
subdivisions where they're putting private roads in,
it's just a shared driveway?
they're usually
I think
That's
that,
owned to this. Yeah,
Shared
Shared
sometimes
driveway
it's up to
agreements for that
something
purpose?
I think that comment originated when there were lots.
And then it was a private road.
So,
So now it's a moot point.
Well, hang on, it's already considered private.
Also,
Pilgrim's Way, pre-existing as a private road.
Like technically for our review right now, we're doing.
I mean, it's labeled as private road. Right.
Which is a comment that comes later.
Right,
I'm
okay,
happy to
good.
address it then or now, whichever way.
No, go in order.
Okay.
Mark, you had a question about an agreement.
No, I guess my concern is I don't understand the request for the right of way due to the fact that this is already a pre-existing private road that will have some sort of a council agreed upon agreement, whether it be a shared driveway agreement, right of way agreement, easement.
So is there an existing agreement?
Well, he's the owner of everything, so.
So you agree with it?
You agree to. so-
You agree to,
If you sell the lot, you want that, you say, like a shared
Right, that'll be
driveway.
a,
And I believe that has been written and provided for the last meeting.
yeah, I think that we already,
Wanna be
we okay on that.
Yeah.
No, we
Good,
did.
that resolved that.
Yeah, I think we gave us that like in August.
Yeah.
or something.
Next time.
A7G was marked as comment for us.
And on the site, just a note that on F, that is addressed by the highway superintendent.
Oh, and I missed it on my list.
A7, yeah. Well, I gave you your response.
A7H, I actually copied the code, fix it directly and address each point since it's brought up. So that would be, I don't know how to say these.
125-29.
Okay, yep, all right. Ask one, the design and location shall be approved by the town engineer, if one shall be appointed and town highway superintendent. It's pre-existing and we're not proposing any changes except for the driveway to lot 3 and the turnarounds. Number 2, they shall meet town road specifications for minor streets except road surface. They consist of any all-weather surface satisfactory to the town engineer and town highway superintendent. Again, pre-existing and we don't want to change it. And the town engineer agrees that it's okay, or not the town engineer, my apologies, the highway superintendent.
And that's from 125, 129.
Yes.
I mean, 20.
They shall meet all provisions of New York State Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code and provide for safe access for emergency personnel. The fire district chief shall be referred to the plan to make recommendations to the planning board. We show the proposed turnarounds if needed. Should the private road be a dead-end street, a cul-de-sac shall be required. We've got lots of areas where we provided that. Also, it's not really a dead end. It does go all the way around. It is loopable if needed.
But yeah, that's true. It's, I mean,
If needed, I'm,
exactly.
in an emergency, we have a way around.
So it's true, there's no exception.
So that should cover the turnaround. Right? We'll just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all drainage plans shall also be subject to approval of town engineer and town highway superintendent.
Where are you now? You're still looking.
Here's the code.
Yeah, I'm going
All
through the
done.
code. I'm going through, it was brought up as a point, I'm going through every point.
Good.
The planning board may require stormwater maintenance agreement. Again, we aren't proposing any changes under drainage works. Number 6, utilities shall be provided an easement established for maintenance of utilities. Well, they're also existing, and it is my understanding that Central Hudson has,
Yeah, well, all this is existing stuff. You're not adding, when you were doing the 6 lots, it might have been a different issue.
when we were doing,
But you
yeah,
have not included any additional lots or earth movement or major changes, so all of this is moved. It's existing.
Thank you. I
So
agree.
let's just
Yep.
Move
fast
on.
forward
Yep.
to,
Yeah.
your
Okay.
RMA is with our attorney, or is going to be approved by our attorney, so that's fine.
Yeah, oh, hang on, the RMA is with you?
Yeah, I've already approved it.
Approved?
Yes.
and then number 8 is not.
Right.
Then A8, I just say see following because then there's a weird numbering thing that
I know, I
happens. So, A9A was considered done. A9B showed driveway to houses on lot 2. Well, we
Yeah.
show all the existing roads and all the existing
Are you,
parking,
you talking about show driveways to the houses on lot 3 and 5?
which
Or they don't
is
exist, okay.
underneath marked as lot 2. Yeah, that's all existing. We don't want to make any changes. We are showing the driveway to the new house on lot 3, the new proposed house on lot 3. I meant to include a detail on the plan for the proposed driveway. I forgot. That's my apology.
Are they gravel?
Yes.
And I don't remember if there's spec on here or something.
It's, there's an existing driveway detail just showing how wide the driveway is.
Okay.
And I will have an actual driveway detail showing how that should be constructed. A10, right away maintenance agreements.
We already agreed we don't need our RMA.
So we're on B10, subdivision zoning 11.
It's unclear if mixed use permit is required for lot 2, which I believe that was covered last week when we discussed as hearing over.
Yeah, this was a little subtle, just a little difference on that. So one was the, this is because it's now a mixed use. So is that,
It already was a mixed
I was
use.
gonna say,
It's always been a mixed
this
use.
has always been studio and office.
Yeah.
There isn't any change to what was already approved before.
oh, I thought you brought up the question, actually.
Now, I believe it was.
No, that it's a CEO determination. Your comment.
Not knowing that it had been mixed use already.
Okay.
Sorry,
All
sorry.
right, we brought it up.
No?
Yeah, right.
Okay, good.
So that's been addressed. We're not
Yep.
worried.
Slope analysis, that's a waiver in writing as well.
Okay, so the glasses.
Any reason why we wouldn't grant the waiver for this slope analysis?
The sweat of the
I-
county.
What? Yeah.
And that these slopes are both wrong.
All these waivers give us some one house.
Well,
They
you
can-
do
they can
one
all
more.
be-
Okay.
I'm not gonna torture you too much.
You guys want to do the way they want. Do it all at once.
The wall ones.
They're gonna get them in.
And then, right, we have that one. And it's- Again, it's conditional based on this.
The B15A private road detail. It's there. I believe that works. Is that it?
You either pay the things you have there.
We have a letter that should cover it. B15C is done.
I've seen existing driveway section before. Is that basically the private,
That's what I have on the map here.
is that for both regular driveways and shared driveways?
It's through.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's through. D15D and E, show the stream, name, wetlands, suggest waiver, topography, and site layout. I do show, this was not on the map previously, but now we do have the stream shown, does not have a name. I looked, did not find one. The topography there is really steep, and we're over 300 feet for lot 3, any construction. Is it okay if we not do the setback?
I'm sorry, which one are you on at this point?
D15D and
And you would advise that we consider.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
that's fine. So let's, is there a motion for waiving, conditionally waiving the steep slope and conditionally waiving the wetlands and topography?
I'll make a motion for the steep slope definitively, but do we outline the setback on the pond? Even
They
though
are.
it's ACO8,
They
still
are.
like to see 100-foot setback.
So,
Is it on there? Is that so many lines?
Yeah, it's a complicated site.
Lake Sand?
Which line is it, the red line?
The red dash
Red,
line,
red. And they colorblind, we didn't need.
Oh,
So the red line
to
was on
another
the
one.
Monty
Ah, that one.
yeah. All my
Okay.
red dash lines are set back
Yeah, I remember.
for,
So you even have we have it in the back there. For the,
I have a setback from the property line.
that's a separate the property line, not the. Yeah, well, the stream isn't even on there.
No,
I said we could waive the setback line from the stream and that. And if it works.
Except,
Yeah, stream is there, they're showing.
except by way of precedent, we always ask.
We probably, you know what, you just draw the 100-foot setback. You know,
But they have a 100-foot setback for the wetlands, you have it for the pond, or rather you have it for the 2 ponds. Put it for the stream.
Yeah,
The only thing that comes up then is we would have to go on somebody else's plan to find the high level.
High
Is the
water
center
mark.
line okay for me to put a step back? Since we're gonna be 300.
the high
feet.
water mark is the definition.
That, well, that's,
So,
Right, but they have to go on.
we would have to go on somebody else's plans, to find that.
Center of the stream should be sufficient.
so I think we could waive from the center, we could waive high water mark, and say from the center of the stream to.
that's fine.
Agreed. Okay.
All right, so we're wrapping this up in one big motion. A motion to set the setback 100 feet from the center of the stream, a motion to waive the steep slope, and a motion to waive the stream and wetland. Right?
No,
So we're doing the, we're doing the stream.
You're gonna waive the setback.
We're gonna waive the what setback from the high water and the steep slope. Yes.
Analysis.
Okay. So is there a motion for those two?
I will make a motion
All right.
as stated.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Again, conditional.
but again, add this to that memo.
Show the stream, or I'm on
Tree symbol?
D15
No, I'm
F and H. So I combined F and H because they're symbols that were missing on the map.
Right.
I will absolutely add them to the map, there's no problem there. D15G, clarifying the tree or woodland removal that we were proposing. Until we have a site that's really decided that we can do it, we don't really know what trees are gonna be removed. The trees that I show on the map are from an aerial survey. We don't have an exact count of every tree that might be removed. But we're talking about less than half an acre of land.
Don't you, do the limited disturbance?
Absolutely, 0.4 acres.
If you have the one with the disturbance. I read the proposed, with the proposed passage.
Yeah, yep, it's on the map. And it shows also the area of the proposed septic.
I mean, I see you have some trees. Do you have some areas that are just like bleak areas?
Yeah, so that would be the wood
I see you have
line,
a skeleton
Green
line.
line.
and then I have individual trees. That when it an individual tree that I can see in the middle of the field, if you put one on there. If it's a bunch of trees that are together, I just wrap them all up in one line and make it a tree line.
So basically, the line of future house work is within the field area. If you visit the site or see the site, open fields there. So you have the wood line there. We're not disturbing very much wood, Liz. There's one tree in the middle of the future house and maybe one next to it. So there are a couple trees you can see from the aerial.
Right.
They would have to come down, but they're not putting it within the wood line. So given this location, I think it's fine.
I mean, is it possible you could just take, well, I get, yeah, never mind, it's fine. You're showing what's there and what's.
There's no waiver required.
You're good to go, just have that line of disturbance.
It's there. Yeah,
Around.
around.
It is,
Showing.
it is there.
And make it,
It says point, plus or minus 0.40.
Good point. Okay. Next,
then we go to number 5, review driveway by highway engineer. You have a letter?
Highway superintendent.
Oh, yeah.
zoning requirements, David.
Yes.
That one we asked on everything.
Do you?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
showing the,
You
that
need
we
an
meet the
example of it?
requirements.
You
and
need-
Yeah, if
stuff?
you need an example, it basically was taking all the requirements across the top of the table and then listing the lots on the side and then going across the table and giving the values under each requirement.
So saying
And
that
your office
they're
has done-
they're all either equal to or bigger than, or smaller to or bigger.
You need
No.
to, we, same
I'm-
example.
I'm happy to do it. I
I
was
know,
told
I'm
that it
sure.
was supposed to be kosher and.
Right,
Look at
but-
CUSAC. They, I mean, that, I asked for that there
Oh,
and that.
man, okay.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, at least
It's
that's
been
an
a long time
example.
since I've seen it. but
Right, I know, but I'm just saying that's an example. of that came out fine.
if that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. It's a lot of work, but
It's,
Wha-
we asked
whatever.
for it on.
if we have.
That's what we
to
asked,
do it.
that's what we asked, so
Okay.
let's do it.
Yeah, so basically taking the requirements and just that are on here already and then making a matrix.
Yep.
So it says for this lot, check, check, check. we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty standard in all.
It demonstrates conformity.
Yep.
All right. 12, I think you're up.
Yes, it talks about a major subdivision, so I think this is a minor. I didn't think that was relevant.
Are you on 7?
7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah,
Comment
it's
from
right,
Alvaro.
7, note the prior thing, for each of those says comment. on one
Right.
relevant.
On 12.
So I'm on 12A, and I made a note of that it referenced the major subdivision.
Oh.
So I figured that that was no longer relevant. Then 12B says basically that it will be reviewed when ready.
Oh. Right, yeah. A
And then
little bit of homework that we're getting.
Design provisions.
And then 14 was an ag days. so it wasn't-
I mean, I guess that means we're still gonna look at the design provisions, but I don't know how to do that one.
I
Well, I
mean,
think you're
we always look at the, we always look at the vision design revision. In this case, though, it's pretty much all the land has
Right.
been, you know, masticated, needed over, used, et cetera. So you're not, we can go through, but the locate, I mean, like the example, one of our design provisions, that could be limit clearing of woodlands. They're limiting clearing of woodlands in what they're doing by putting it in the open pasture, the new house, and leaving the woodland, so check. So you should review quickly, just make
Yeah,
sure,
it
but
should be quick, there's probably not much left.
I mean,
That's
we're
what I'm
not
saying.
destroying a stone wall, that's another thing that you're not supposed to do.
I think it's more a matter of just the items that we're listing out that have to be completed, just checking and making sure that they've been done. You know, because everything else, the design elements, we've worked through, as Maren said, we've worked through that.
I mean, there's worth going a quick review, but I think since 3/4
Well, I
of
mean,
this.
What we could do is just do a quick look through and do an email
I think,
as a follow-up, because it's probably most.
And we put that.
So is the board okay with, a quick look through and follow up,
That's-
just to say.
Yes,
Yeah.
because this is 9/10 days.
So the ag data statement will have the board secretary send you.
Number 14?
That was 14, that was ag data.
Okay. Yeah, all
Right.
right. Number 15, mentioned that a response letter was not provided.
We have it. We're good.
And then number 16, something about the date on the plan, which honestly, I was a little bit confused by that. If you
I
could
think it has the
clarify, so
same
I
date
know.
as the prior plan. It's dated September 27th.
Correct, and if you look up, there's a map revision date. At the, right below the approved revision date.
I see, okay, got it.
Okay.
Right, I don't see it here.
Shade
Oh,
Driver,
the
private
little
road, I
map
think would be
revision.
this one. Yeah.
Thank you. Should cover the driveway.
Secret EAF comments.
Which really just brings us to C2,
All right.
habitat assessment and land delineation report. We are, if it would be okay, we have to ask for a waiver for that.
But it's also
early
early.
going forward.
Put it in the-
We'll put it in the,
So let's motion for.
I'll make a motion that we give them a provisional waiver to the habitat assessment and wetland delineation report because it's only a 10.5 acre being disturbed. Everything else is existing.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It's enough to carry.
You doing construction?
You know, you have to be a licensed electrician in Ulster County in order to do anything like that. So,
Why is it not working?
That is not. Is it plugged in?
yes,
It's the breaker form.
it turned on.
Be a licensed
It
electrician.
is plugged in.
We're not standing in your way here at all, are we? Okay.
I thought the fuck that, nobody told me. Some of the ones that.
Okay. Did you get, the other item that was outstanding was Board of Health approvals?
not yet. We're still working on that. It's, the holes have been dug, they've been out, they've been looked at. It's all gonna be raised beds. The soil is not friendly, but
One there, bucket of rocks.
lots of it.
Half a bucket of dirt.
Lots of it. Great for farming.
All right.
So it's in the works. We're hoping that by next month. But it's definitely well on the way.
All right, great.
It's-
Oh, really? You have anything else? Somebody turned it on. Anything else? Okay. Yeah, I will.
Oh, that's done.
Yeah.
Public hearing's over.
Chair, do you need a motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you.
Yeah.
Chair.
Rick, anything further? No, I'm good. Dorian, anything further? Zach?
No.
Mark?
Would you like to close the public?
I would like to see if there's anybody from the public that would like to speak first.
I do not have anything else.
Aaron, anything else?
Electricity.
Is there anybody on Zoom? Do you see participants? Yeah. No, great. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on this application? No. All right.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, just so I can recap what we have open for you, and Nicole will send you a letter highlighting this as well, but in case you want to get started early.
I know that there's some open items.
Yeah, so, narrative on the calculation for the parking spaces.
Mhm.
And then the waivers that we have are for the driveway. For the steep slope, with 100-foot setback from the middle of the stream, right? Then adding the symbols for the tree and stone stone walls, et cetera, symbols of the legend, the zoning requirements table, an ag data statement that Nicole was saying was complete. And then also was waived the habitat assessment.
And the wetland.
To what we did.
No,
No, that's,
not.
what Mr. said that.
Just that it was going to be from the center rather than from the.
No, I meant that there were two items under the EAF that I thought the board didn't want, which is a habitat assessment and wetland. So I thought you
We waived the
didn't feel that they
habitat.
were not necessary.
I thought the wetland delineation,
We
I thought the wetland delineation was on.
We don't need a wetland.
don't need it.
Put that
They
on.
already have
The red lines.
they already have a setback.
No, I'm reiterating it because I thought
Yeah,
that
no,
the
we're-
board had said
We
they
said
didn't
that.
want habitat. or
When you said wetlands, that's what you meant.
Yes, that's,
Yeah.
okay, got it, got it.
So
We're still good, okay.
We're requesting a waiver for the habitat and for the
Wetlands delineation.
as one item.
You can
There
make
are
it as
two
one item. Or you make it as two. Just make sure they're in.
Or if you like doing it.
I'm not trying to send you a letter for each one.
Yeah, right.
It's not my goal.
No, it's not a separate letter.
No.
A long
Yes,
letter with
Yeah,
a laundry list of things you don't
What
want
do
to have
you-
to do.
One way.
yeah, absolutely. Would it be possible to get conditional approval?
No.
Well, we
Get
don't-
everything.
But I was gonna
Sure.
suggest. that-
Sure.
We don't have a.
You want what else?
No, I was gonna suggest that. the board authorize.
The
So
short
we'll do
answer
that.
is no, we have 62 days to review it. Usually we're a little quicker than that.
And we should, if we have to officially authorize, we should survey.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to find.
Okay.
Next.
We'll be there.
Good question.
And
It
then
is.
oftentimes the board wants some standard notation, so what I'll do is I'll plug in what seems appropriate. for this one.
Sounds good. Anything further from these gentlemen? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good timing on these months.
Okay.
I can send you all
All right.
You've been there for a long time. It's quite like in the spring-like color when it's 23 degrees.
Ability to drive here and prepared, right?
I walked outside, I realized.
I have some extra ones for survey revised.
And she mentioned to address some of the comments.
Yeah, there's just some things that we-
Is this a new map or this is just copies? of the other?
No, this is a new one based on your comments.
Well, why don't you think about it?
What's that? Share this one?
No, I have an extra one here. I don't think I really need it.
So would you like me to run through the post-meeting letter first?
Sure.
Yeah. So, first item was adding the witness post and still fence detail to the plan set. For the addition to that, that's been added. Update the survey reflected the changes made in the plan set, you just handed that to us. Like, and then the written response to, the most recent review of it. So. Survey sheet, the survey sheet remains to be revised and call out the wetlands delineator. Approximate line of wetland boundary as delineated by Mike and Mowicki. I saw that on the note. When you have that added.
Right there in the middle, right there in the middle. To the point where the wetland boundary is delineated by micro and wiki violations of ecological on June 20th.
On the survey sheet, there's noted there's a plain thin unlabeled line right east-west, which is not shown on previously submitted survey sheet. It's simply be there.
Yeah, that was a straight line. It was.
It was a straight line.
Yeah.
Planning meeting, the board indicated, so this was an issue that we had. We did indicate that the soil stockpile detail would not be needed and not be needed to edit to the plan, but in fact, I believe it's a DEC requirement.
that it be there.
So
Apology.
I don't know, did you get a chance to add that?
The stockpile, and you guys moved at the last meeting, we weren't doing that.
Right.
Right, and then when I was looking at something for another town, I saw DEC, right, that says you have to have.
It's
the
a
stock-
requirement. Yeah, I'm surprised at that.
Shown around.
Right, but it's required by the, that it be on there, but,
That's what one of our engineers said the same thing when
yeah. when-
Megan came back
So
and
we
said
can
it was
just add
weird.
that
I was
as a
like, well,
condition of approval.
That exactly.
it's pretty, I think you can find a boilerplate.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could know all more.
It's in your laws.
You want to read?
You want me to?
Sure. I'd appreciate it.
Sure. We just need to read the findings. I have it on there. Oh, just the findings in the beginning?
I think,
We don't need to read all the,
Yeah, we use.
gobbledygook, we did to the findings.
right, point taken.
Good.
I just want to see where we're going to start.
Okay. I'm going to start in the beginning. I'll read a little of the board and then I'll jump to findings.
And then you can jump to
Page 3.
probably line 88.
Good. Okay, this is a draft resolution of the Town of Rochester Planning Board on November 14th, 2022. For application PB 2021-07 SPD, which is a lot line improvement and minor subdivision conditional final approval. The applicant is Ryan Scully for CDG Ridgeview LLC. Jumping to page 3. Okay, the findings, here we go. Now therefore be it resolved, the planning board of the town of Rochester makes the following findings about this project. Number 1, the planning board received zoning determination clarification that the subdivision is located in R2, low density residential district, zoning district, and is a minor subdivision per correspondence from the CEO received on April 22nd, 2021. The proposed combination of 2 vacant lots, current 5 lot subdivision with frontage on Ridgeview Road would result in the creation of 5 lots with lot 1 plus or minus 15.94 acres.
The R2 has to be changed to R5 zoning.
No, it's not low density residential, it's R5.
Yeah,
what do they
I'll
call
update
that?
it.
Rural conservation.
Thank you.
Rural conservation.
Lot number 2 is plus or minus 14.9 acres. Lot number 3 is plus or minus 11.7 acres, 78 acres. Located on a shared driveway off of Ridgeview Road. Lot 4 is plus or minus 14.6 acres. And lot 5 plus or minus 12.25 acres, each with individual driveways off of Ridgeview Road. Each of the 5 lots would be developed with new homes, wells, septic, and individual driveways, etc. The proposed 50-foot wide, 1,850-foot long road right of way delineated to provide for a shared 16-foot wide gravel driveway from Ridgeview Road for proposed lots 1 through 3 is designed to put in compliance with pertinent requirement and standards of the Code of Town of Rochester. The subdivision was discussed in regular meetings of the planning board held on May 10th, June 14th, July 12th, October 14th, December 13th, July 11th, September 12th, October 12th, and November 14th, during which the planning board, its consultant, and the applicant's representative discussed the site's land use and natural features, including the site's topography, access, and
Yeah, it shouldn't be there, it should be.
topography, access, etc. Period. How's that? Liz?
No, it just should have said.
Just
Okay,
period.
access.
Okay, and access.
Yeah.
In response to material set forth by the applicant as well as the town's consultant, along with comments from the planning board, the board finds the following impacts and determinations based on the most current plan sets last revised October 28th and 31st, which we should change to today's date, which is November 14th, 2022 respectively, and is noted above included. A, Site-
You don't change it.
We're not changing the dates because
These are plans,
we had these to look at, but I don't have the,
The plan sets what they.
this will be this plan in front of us should be the one that we were gonna be recording, correct?
we just got this, so
But it's going forward.
it doesn't
But it-
doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't.
You want it, they're gonna have to give us another plan.
This is
a
based on-
final plan
Right,
with that
Right.
stockpile areas,
Okay.
so.
yeah.
Well, I was just gonna give you one revised sheet.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, only an impact one sheet.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay, so you want the October 28th and 31st date?
I think,
I mean,
so,
we
because
don't-
that's what we were dealing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm
we're
just
just
thinking
getting
if you
these.
go back,
This
like,
is
for
in the
instance,
physical middle,
I'm
so
just thinking in
But
like
we did just.
2 years.
we
if
did
somebody
just
were to-
look at it.
them.
We just reviewed.
Why can't we just have the date?
Okay,
We're not, no, tonight
So
you're
we got-
reviewing, but
We just reviewed and saw that the Nowitzki or whatever his name is.
Yeah, you just looked at the things that you asked for that
The
were put on the
28th,
map.
31st, and 14th.
28, 31, and November 14th.
okay.
We added a note to the library.
Okay, and November 14th.
The regular change.
And November 14th. Respectfully, as noted above, including A, the site is undeveloped and will result in the creation of 5 new lots for new homes, 3 of which would have access to Ridgeview Road via shared driveway as described above. Accordingly, there would be an increase in land development and a corresponding change in increase in stormwater runoff for the proposed subdivision. And B, the proposed lots will comply with, change that to R5.
Yeah.
What was the density again?
Rural,
Rural conservation. Okay, rural conservation zoning district, lot area and bulk requirements, and pertinent subdivision design standards and requirements. Number 6. The plans show a properly delineated wetland area and also a boundary for a proposed 22.3 acre conservation area, which includes the wetland area, wooded area, Ulster County Habitat Core area, steeply sloped area, slopes of 20% or greater. On the plans, the labeled conservation area boundary is proposed to mark at intervals with specified witness posts. The plan set forth detailed conservation area notes prohibiting tree cutting, excavation, and other types of disturbance, prohibiting construction, placement, or storage of any improvements, structures, vehicles, after or any other type of waste or traps of any kind, and prohibiting the use of any motorized vehicle. Additionally, the conservation area notes state that the area shall be managed in accordance with sound and general accepted soil and water conservation practices already described in the plan notation. 7. The applicant requested waivers for the requirement to conduct a tree survey and to identify trees of 24 inches diameter at breast height in areas on each lot proposed for disturbance and labeling labeling same. You want to change that? Labeling same? I don't know if that's proper.
Okay.
On the plan set.
What line are you on?
7, line 3.
131.
There's-
Well, 131.
There's numbering on the side of the page. Line-
131.
Line what?
131.
so what are we changing something?
It's not proper English. I don't know. what-
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. I don't know what the correction should be, but
Survey to identify.
lot.
Each lot
Proposed lots
survey.
of disturbance.
New plan set, which waivers are granted by?
Labeling same.
Labeling same, meaning same that was mentioned before.
Then
Right.
yes,
Okay, you got it. These findings have been prepared by the board, agreed and discussed at the meeting of November 14th, 2022. The board hereby adopts these findings on November 14th, 2022 by the following votes. Chair?
I have a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion to approve
As amended,
As-
change.
As amended. First,
1 second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Conditions on?
You want them? Conditions of approval? Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Rochester Planning Board hereby grants minor subdivision conditional final approval of the proposed 5-lot subdivision situated with frontage on Ridgeview Road as depicted on the 5-sheet plan set entitled Proposed Subdivision Plan on Lands of CDG Ridgeview LLC. Prepared by Chris DeCharo, P.E., Christopher DeCharo, P.E. Civil Engineer, dated May 27, 2021, revised October 28, 2022, including the following plan sheets. proposed subdivision plan, proposed shared driveway plan, proposed driveways plan, ESC plan,
Versions of-
and steep slopes analysis plan, and the map of subdivision of lands belonging to CDG Ridgeview LLC. Prepared by John Hyde.
Yeah, I did it earlier. And the map.
Revised,
Revised
November
October
14th.
28, 2022, and November 14, 2022.
yes, we did number 14. I had the 14th, yeah.
Prepared by John Heidecker, licensed surveyor, dated August 29, 2022. Last revised, let's update that to November 14. Subject to satisfactory compliance with following conditions. The project sponsor shall reimburse the town of Rochester for all costs incurred by the town for the review of this subdivision proposal. The final,
I'm just curious, you're reading fast.
I'm reading too fast.
Who should make all of them?
She's making the notes.
Should I?
She's making all the notes.
Are you?
Am I going too fast? Slow me down. Oh. The final plat of the subdivision will not be stamped and signed by the town, by the planning board chairman, unless and until all appropriate costs incurred by the town for the customary and necessary review has been paid for by the applicant by either means of the escrow account established at the initial application stage or by check payable to the town of Rochester. The applicant shall present final plans for signature, which shall be entitled Final Subdivision Plot for lands of CDG Ridgeview LLC. Provide an updated survey sheet prepared by John Heidecker, licensed surveyor, revised to address the following.
A and B have been addressed.
Okay, A and B deleted. John, you only got
C
one left.
gets renumbered A.
So A and B are coming out.
Yes.
A and B are coming out.
And C is
gets
now
numbered A, and B is going to be added to soil stockpile.
Okay. We have add the full R5 rural conservation zone requirement table as shown in the editor plan. And B, add the stockpile note
Add
provided
the
by the
soil
DEC.
stockpile.
Yeah, just shove that on.
Okay, show stockpile. Notes, sorry.
And then 4 and 5 remains.
Provides both the 5-sheet engineering plan and survey plan sheet to include the same consistent contact and owner subdivider information, including tax parcel ID and deed information. And number 5, yes.
Yes.
Both
I
five-
can't check them because I don't have them signed.
Okay, both the 5-sheet engineering plan set and survey plan set sheets shall include clear, specific updated notation referring each to the other corresponding plans submitted for and approved in this resolution. 6, revise the following plan notation and nearby farming on the engineered plan set to read as follows. We'll just send you this. Good with that?
No,
Yeah.
that's the survey sheet. This one's the survey sheet and the condition is, no, it's okay. The condition is.
So Liz, I'm just gonna, number 6 and 7, we could just send to John to copy and paste.
Well, yeah,
So number 7 is another note, John, for the map.
Sure.
Okay. Number 8, the engineering plan set and survey plan should have the same revision dates. Your dates match. The owner shall provide a letter certified and stamped by professional engineer certifying that the proposed well and water supply on lots 2 and 4 shall conform to the requirements of the Ulster County Department of Health Planning prior to the planning board chairman's signature on the subdivision plan. This is for well we're looking for.
I'm going to certify what?
The owner shall provide a letter certified and stamped by a professional engineer certifying that the proposed well and water supply on lots 2 and 4 shall conform to the requirements.
2 through 4.
2 through 4, thank you. Conform to the requirements of Department of Health.
Yeah, that's on the approvals. It's all economy. I mean, the well.
Let's just-
you mean you've already submitted these?
The well thing is always on all the DOH plans. They approve that as part of the septic approval called with well and septic. So in other words, there's notations on those plans that they have to be done in accordance with appendix 5B, water supply, New York State water supply plans,
That's
the
a,
wells have to conform to that. It's all on the DOH approved plans
So
already.
he's saying that the submission that he gave you for the actual Board of Health for the septic,
Those plans, they're
They
a note
also
on
have
there.
theirs.
It also shows that there's a note right under the well detail and everything. It says they have to conform to New York State, well.
To a point, it's number 9 we have.
Yeah.
The point number 9 we have, we can take number 9 out.
So we should never ask for it if we have. Okay.
So are we taking number 9 out?
Yes.
Number 10, the owner's consent block shall be signed and dated by the owners following the date of the last revision and prior to the chair signing the block. Keep going here, this minor subdivision conditional final approval shall expire 180 days from this approval date unless the final plat is presented and signed by the chairman. This period may be extended for 2 additional 90-day periods upon application 2 and resolution by the town of Rochester Planning Board. Town of Rochester Planning Board further grants minor subdivision conditional final approval upon satisfactory completion of the conditions of approval 1 through 9 above.
Before you continue, are there any other conditions that we'd like to put in there? 12.1, anybody? Anything they'd like to have added?
No, we
Pretty much.
close to that.
You even got the ag note on.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Effective approval, the owner shall file in the office of the Fulton County Clerk such approved plot bearing the chairman's signature and any other related documents within 62 days from the date of signature, or such approval shall be deemed to expire without further notice in accordance with town law, New York State number 276. Number 2, the owner shall have the responsibility to return 3 Ulster County Clerk certified copies of the plat, the filed plat, and any other related documents to the Town of Rochester Planning Board within 30 days of filing. Adopted November 14, 2022 by the following vote.
Somebody make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the conditions of approval with amendments, namely current 3A is out, current C becomes 3A, we added a 3B, and we dropped number 9.
Number 2.
And 10 now becomes 9.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Okay.
No names and what else?
Say that again.
victory is yours, huh?
Thanks, guys.
So we'll send a letter with revised.
Hang it under these hard copies, they have to revise a sheet to it and then bring all the.
Yeah, can you email the PDFs?
Yeah, I can do
Yeah,
that.
that would be awesome, because I just review on screen. Thank you. Congratulations. It's been such a long interview. What will we do?
Thank
I'll say John around town.
Okay, all right. But I won't go on other stuff.
Thank you. Good job.
Good
I
show.
hope never to do a large subdivision.
Chris, do you have anything else pending for the town of Rochester?
I don't usually come down this far, to be honest, so.
It never
So
planned to do so again.
Green County, right, northern also green.
Try to move that.
Yeah. Next time I'm saying John. I was thinking that.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow, what's next?
Maps, I guess. Anyone?
I'll take it back.
We cancel everything?
You know, I can take it.
Yeah.
I was confirmed.
No, the answer is no.
Anyone else?
Aaron,
And I can review on screen. so.
this one has the EAF on it as well.
You're still gonna be making that submittal,
What's that?
right? You're gonna still submit the PDF, because I figure I'll give this hard copy of it.
I did submit PDF of the plans.
Oh, this isn't brand new.
It's not brand new.
Oh, got it, okay.
It was submitted
Here
on
you go.
the-
Have a copy. But it's the same as
Yeah.
You might have didn't do
In
it.
our files, yeah.
I will.
October 11th, they wrote streets review.
On this one, no, great. Pretty sure I emailed it. This was
It's not in the
actually-
file.
What?
It's not in our file.
The latest one was,
November 8th that I don't have.
I have November 2nd. In the,
Maybe it
oh,
was
I'm sorry,
emailed.
I'm looking at the wrong.
I thought that I emailed
You
it.
did,
I
you
did.
did, just wasn't put in the doc.
I got it.
Yep, November 10th was the email.
And just before the meeting, I highlighted whatever is made.
So, we'll start with the letter that was
Okay.
sent. You have,
Comment letter of November 8th.
Yes.
yeah, you've had
Can
an
we stick
opportunity.
to the items that are still outstanding and not go
Yes,
over all?
that would be great, because I kind of highlighted, I went right to comment 3.
8-3.
So it starts on page 2. Well, it starts on page 1.
Line 43.
There you go.
That's easy.
Okay, so we did file a draft road name agreement, and Mary, you might have some comments on that.
I do, which, if it's okay with you guys, I can, Bob called me today, but I was in a meeting, so we just one other. And
You wanted to email your,
I was gonna say, I can just email you my,
yeah. Okay, let's
it's
do that.
nothing major, but
Okay.
just some clarification. on it.
Okay, let's do that. And then the boundary of the right of way is shown on sheet 2, but you also want it shown on sheet 4. Sheet 4 is a 100 scale, so it's really gonna,
You know what it is? I was looking for that so that a reviewer can, and
you want to put a
anybody.
note,
who's-
refer to sheet 2?
No,
or-
no, what I'm saying is, so I see the boundary, right? And it's
Yeah.
very nice and clear in that particular sort of detail that you have on
Right.
sheet 4.
Yeah.
But on plan sheet 2 and 4, it just doesn't pop out like that. It's a little, it's not, you know what I mean? You use a different line. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
It's nice if you can kind of follow it from the full map view. to the-
I'll see.
I think you have it like a black line in one of them and the rest of them are this sort of pale blue line and it's a little harder to notice. That's all.
Oh, so, well, yeah, in the colorized version on the PDF, that's what you're looking at. Because when I go to print, everything's in black and white, or black. So it would show up,
Oh,
if
okay.
you know what I'm saying. It might have a different colored layer that you're looking at on the
So,
colored PDF.
oh, okay, because it was a color. Okay.
Okay.
Is there a way you can? make
Yeah,
it
I can-
Black, maybe turn it?
Yeah.
You know how I think it's black on one sheet and then,
Okay, I know, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, before you go, so let me just back up what we, have to record the test for Nicole. What was the first one? We addressed, is that?
The first
Or do
one
we have
was
it out?
to Mary Lou, who's gonna revise comments back
So Mary Lou's gonna own them
on
comments.
the right of way.
And this other thing is just,
Map change.
map change for the line, clear
a
a line.
long way.
And that line is indicating what? I'm sorry.
The right of way.
Right away. Okay, I'm sorry, please. continue.
I think that's good for that one.
Number 4, I did submit a set of plans to the highway department when I
Okay.
submitted on 31st here. So they have a copy of that.
Have you received a response?
Not yet.
So that, we still need to keep it outstanding until we.
Sure.
I'm gonna follow up tomorrow. We have a permit for the driveway on the county road, and that was submitted.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's in there. It's in-
So there's an Ulster County Department of Public Works. Okay, I look for that.
Public Works or Transportation?
It's,
Public.
Yeah. you should say.
I think it's actually bridges and highways.
Here it is.
Bridges and highways,
Department of Transportation.
Ulster County
Here.
road people. There's some kind of thing in the folder and I'll go find it.
Department of Public Works.
Is that what
I
it
know.
says, public works, it's not bridges and highways?
Got it.
Actually, the
Okay.
comment says Ulster
I don't
County
need-
Department of Transportation. but-
Everybody. Okay,
Yep.
So we'll go all the way down past B onto C.
Oh,
The,
what about 6?
Huh?
B6, add a call out when the wetland boundary.
You show it satisfied.
Oh, that's on-
No.
That's what's on your letter.
That's what's there.
11/8/22.
Okay.
And it
I
was.
stand corrected.
And what you notice on. Yeah, so,
On to C.
Never mind.
The erosion control practices are shown on sheet 2 on the individual lot blow-ups on the enlargement. Is that okay?
I got you. Okay. Well, I'll have, okay. Okay, so then I'll have.
Okay.
So we'll have the engineer.
D, the secret form, long form. There was some items that I guess I left blank, so I'll take care of that.
So you have,
There's also one in there, it's E2, I think. I remember correctly, there's.
Is that the average Jeffrey water table or something
No,
else?
it had to do, does it, the one where it says, is there a one of three?
Oh,
On it, and it says, no, there's not one of these, since it is a biologically important area.
Yeah.
Three choices you have,
so,
this is a biologically important area, so a lot of.
Oh, on the,
yeah, this property lights up on a lot of those.
okay,
Like
biologically
everywhere.
important area, okay.
Say that again, please.
It is considered a biodiversity area.
What question are you talking about?
It would be E2 something, and we'll have to, maybe we can put our heads together. Are we allowed to do that offline clarification?
Yeah,
and we're not sure if it's on there or not. Maybe something that-
It's also a forest, it's in the top 1% of the forest.
Well, if you wanna
Is that?
go down this right now, if you pull the DEC mapper, it's a significant
Oh, okay.
biodiversity area of the Hudson River Valley. A known
Got it.
important area for rare aquatic animals, rare plants, rare terrestrial animals, migratory fish, and an important bat foraging area. So we'll need restrictions on tree cutting in place in between. It's also, I mean, this is all,
Right, it lights it up for known important area for red pressure. So it's probably, in that area, it's probably bald eagles.
do you know what
that?
question
So it's-
that is?
it's E, I think it's E2C.
And you're quoting from the environmental resource mapper. Or are you-
Hudson Valley Natural Resource.
Hudson Valley Natural.
From the DEC. You get on there,
Got it.
pull up all the overlays.
No, I'll
and this
find it.
is
I know
got
there are a
pretty
lot
much
of,
everything.
and some of it's on Ulster
That's on
County's
E- Yeah, map.
stuff. But
This is on a DEC map.
the Hudson Valley.
Do you need the link? You want us to send it?
But there were other items in Ulster County's layers probably.
There's another comments on pool area.
I'm sorry, Zori, what was that?
Several comments on pool area.
Yeah.
On under part C, D, I.
I don't see the long form in the file.
Here it is, yes. 1031.
That's a D2, D2,
D2,
C.
Oh, you're going
CVI. Are we talking about E2N?
No, D2. D2, then
No,
C.
we're talking about the natural.
Yeah, hang on, sorry.
I'm still not.
Sorry, what line number are you
Doing it.
reading?
No, I'm reading more four.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
E2C or E2C?
No, D2.
He's doing something new.
He's on a different
He's on
topic.
a
He's
different
jumping
topic.
ahead.
Sorry. It's okay.
We didn't finish.
Okay, all right, we'll come back. All right, thanks.
Are we talking about E2N?
Let's continue with D, with Secra and EAF.
We're on it. We're looking at it right now.
Well, now we're sort of getting distracted because are we gonna do a full re-review of the seeker right now? Because there's quite a few things that I would say are in contrast that are no's and yeses, or do we, I'm asking the chair here, or do we go, do we have our wetland and T&E person do a review of this for us also?
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's.
We could be here more as well.
This is not the time to start going on line items of seeker.
I think we should, we have a new person, new wetlands and
That's
environmental person. I think we should transfer this particular form to them and get a written response from them to the adequacy of this.
And I would say,
I
yeah,
think that the field observations would be appropriate
Oh, that's the other thing. We didn't do a field trip.
on this.
Right.
And,
So exactly, there, we can't really go through this until we've been on site. So
I agree.
we're gonna,
So what do you want me to do about the outstanding stuff? Hold on. Hold on.
I think with the outstanding secret stuff and the EAF, we should hold on. And that we'll have a motion to engage a consultant resource to go out and walk the property and do a full review.
and I think
The board should go out and walk
with
the
us,
property.
yeah.
Well, that's an open item from last meeting as well. We're
Right.
supposed to schedule time, and that didn't happen, so.
And on another project, he's very offer, he's very happy to go with us also.
Right, so let's take one thing at a time. First,
On the slope.
the motion to engage.
I make a motion that we engage on the consultant that we employed to do environmental
Yeah, his
review.
name is
the
Bruce
lawn
Barber.
form, and do the environmental review of the law form, get back to the board.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll make a second.
Any discussion on it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So we'll have the planning board secretary will work with the consulting resource to arrange a date and time to come on. and review.
So that's gonna be at the same time that we work with him, or he's gonna go out there by
So-
himself, or?
Here's the thing with what, he's more than happy to walk with us in two groups, right? In order to avoid any violation of the OLM, right? Um, So, which I think will be fine, we'll do it that way.
There's 7 of you,
Right,
I only have up to 3.
exactly,
Maybe one person doesn't need to go, you know,
exactly, we'll figure it out,
just make sure you don't have 4.
we'll figure it out.
and do you want things staked like we usually do?
Yes.
Driveway center lines,
Well, let's,
We'll figure that out.
why don't we ask the consultant what he'd
Yep.
like to see staked out? To help him rather than decide for.
Well, we're gonna want somebody. to
We're gonna
say
want
that
somebody
too.
to state that also, yes.
So that we,
Well, certainly the property that.
Yes.
Because some of the things that he'll be looking at are different than things that we'll be
Right.
looking at.
That's where I thought this was going to things for.
So I think we should have
so the
some-
date,
We have a list of items that we
so the
like.
day trip that we're gonna make,
Yes.
what we generally do, aside from having Mr. Barber going out, what we usually ask for the applicant is for the site to be staked, the lots to be staked, so we know where the differentiation between different lots are, where the driveways are gonna be, some indication of where the house is gonna be, some staking in the field for us, just so we can reconnoiter the property with the maps that we'll have. And for Barber, it's a matter of, he's not in so much interest in that as he is walking the whole property. So we need a date, we assume that you'll be able to stake it so we can make some sense out of what do we need to. But we
Center
need to stake
line,
it.
driveways.
Hold on.
Driveway,
Let me write it down.
you know where the driveways are, you know where the lots are. Corner of the lots.
Some of the boundary lines are. I mean, how close are we talking about staking?
Like, I think start from, the road frontage, so corners,
You have survey tapes already out?
then the ones that we do.
Yeah, but it's been a while. There are a lot of them down. Okay. So we need like center of the houses, center of the driveway. Anything else?
Something up there so we can differentiate between all the lots.
Flagging on the property lines, okay?
Exactly. And I also had along these lines, but I don't know if this should perhaps be done after the consultant reviews it. This should be referred to our ECC, and also we mentioned the Alderville to the Historic Preservation Committee.
Oh, it's in the handbook.
It's in the hamlet, so they should have a review of both of these people and the fire department and the highway department as interested agencies, but I don't know if we want our environmental person to go out first before it goes to the ECC, or if we'd like to defer this at this time. This is for comment, but not involved.
So
ECC and who else? Or which-
HPC, because it's in the,
yeah, they're not a,
we still refer as interested agents.
Yeah.
The historic preservation. Oh,
so I
Because it's in the
I
handbook.
think maybe for simplicity, not to complicate it, we allow Mr. Barber to do a study and we share it with the ECC. ECC comes to our meeting to share it and review it, and then we can present it to them as a refer to them after we review here. That way, they're
right, they
share.
should get it after they get his greater granularity of
Right,
data.
right.
The historic preservation committee could probably
Yeah, they can,
get it already,
right. I would agree.
And
Do
so
something
fire.
and yeah, and so could fire. But we wanted to start the.
So do we have a motion to send it to?
I make a motion that we send it to the fire department, appropriate for fire department, Historic Preservation Society.
Commission.
Commission, thank you.
Committee.
And also, highway superintendent, take it back to regular order. And that we also send it to ECC once Mr. Barber's environmental review is done.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. This is covering, that section covered a lot of ground in the open letter.
Pretty much all this, the end of the thing, the secret EAF.
Right.
It's in a chippo and they haven't done anything.
Right. So I know,
Right.
Zorian, I believe you had a question about the driveway
Yeah,
contour.
we want to start with you.
Yeah,
Okay, I have a question about existing house, but since it's not identified as existing on the plan.
Yes, it is.
It is?
The one existing house is up on the edge there.
On lot number.
Which one?
That piece is about that.
Yeah.
Right up on High Spot.
What it does is,
It says house.
Yeah.
Existing
It's
well.
not a proposed house. The other proposed houses are just shown.
okay.
Says approved approximate location of existing sewer, oval, existing well, and.
Next question related to the old house. Take it back to that driveway on the court, on the, not under 90 degrees. I noticed that there is a contradiction what we are allowed to do. And if you look at project work permit, it specifically says to be 90 degrees.
Which public work permit? The one that was given by DPW?
Yeah.
The DPW is this driveway,
County Road 6.
County Route 6, which is right here, so that will be 90 degrees, but this is done to follow the Old Woods Road. We don't want to,
So-
they're talking about that. That's just that one for DPW on
Okay.
lot 1.
Um. We will propose driveway widths and surfaces.
Which comment?
Surfaces,
A1B. Label proposed driveway widths and surfaces. They not clearly identified on drawing. They actually found them on your sheet 4. But you name it as just erosion control.
A1, what is it?
so just name the surface of the driveway.
A1B.
Yeah,
I thought
Yeah,
She said it's satisfactory.
Yeah.
no, but it was impossible to find because the drawing title, the particular sheet title says erosion. Doesn't say anything about the diet.
I thought they had one sheet that had the 4. Each of the 4 lots.
No, I'm talking about the profile of the diet.
We'll keep it all in detail.
Yeah, but what detail? Because in your comments,
I didn't specifically put driveway detail.
yeah, because in your comments on details, it's saying look typical location, but it's unclear where it is.
Ignoring the driveway details, next one.
Okay. Um, and BA, it says where it's showing, where it's showing.
Which one? 8?
B or D?
B,
B is
Big
8.
B.
yes, where's it showing?
So the detailed plan showing the labeling, grading, drainage improvements, stormwater management, and limits of disturbance. On sheet 2.
You're talking about when you made a comments about some local. Separate.
I'll fix it when you're done looking, but if you.
Yeah, here it is, on it's here.
Yeah, okay.
Edge of
Okay.
If you look here, you've got the driveway from you. And then you've got a swale. Here, and then it's just sort of like so. I don't want to mess up the plans.
Because sometimes, people present it clear.
That unclear?
That's okay.
During, you want more on that? No. You're good.
Okay, and so what was the takeaway on that?
We're good.
Right.
All right.
I think.
I think it's just a bit,
Are we scheduling the time for the site visit or they?
they're going to work with Nicole to get the schedule. They'll propose some dates, we'll see who's available, and vice versa. Right? What the role is. I think we've gotten to the point where we can recap what the takeaways are from tonight. Right? And then if there's any other discussion after that. So what I have here is the board attorney has comments to get back beyond the right of ways or road. I'm sorry.
The declaration is to maintenance is private road.
Private, right? The line on the map, you're gonna see, you can get a different indicator for the right of way, so it's a little less confusing. The plan, you're gonna follow up on the plans that you submitted to the highway department to get a response. We'll also have Nicole give them a call as well, so they're getting beat on both sides, right? All the secret open items are gonna be pending or review with our wetlands consultant. I'm going to send the link to the Hudson Valley Resource Mapper to you folks so that you can look at that and edit appropriately. You're going to stake out the driveway, the lots, the corners, flag the property lines, things like that. So give yourself some time to do that so that we're not, trying to get in before you have an opportunity to do that.
What do we need at the corner? What do you want at the corner? Just some flagging at the corner?
Yeah. that's fine. And then we're gonna refer the application to the fire department, the historic preservation committee, and the highway superintendent as well.
And our office will be in the application. I've got one more question. Don't worry, it's not that exciting. I have a copy of the ordinance, and if you have it in Word by any chance, if you do, I can just
Yes.
give you a red line if you can send me a Word. Copy more about, thank you.
Anything further from anyone on the board on this? Nope. Gentlemen? Enjoy the rest of the
Thank
evening.
Thank you.
It's like our-
You were first on the agenda. I was first on the agenda.
You're moving up on the list, though.
Maybe next time.
Actually, next time you'll be like,
We're moving up. Yeah, you would.
That'll be number 2.
all right. Brad, Mark, okay, so, good evening. Why don't you start by giving us an overview of your proposal, your project? We'll go.
Sounds good. We submitted a narrative with the custom bill, so we want to just sort of reiterate what we spoke about in the narrative. In Alana Market is a current market, a current operating business, just outside of Woodstock. And they've pretty much outgrown the facility. They've invested in a property there on Route 209 in Transfer Boston, and they're ready to move their market to this new building. It's basically grab and go food. It's an actual grocery store with ethnic food and more difficult items to find if you like alternative dishes. And then also the property comes with a separate building that in the future the clients are hoping to turn into a kitchen, commercial kitchen, fully usable commercial.
And I'm sorry, I should have asked this, if you could introduce yourself.
Sorry.
Michael Lockwood.
Michael Whiteman, project manager, Lockwood Architecture.
Chris Mauricio, Ronald Market.
And Eva Canali also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, this is, I'm afraid I'm going to cut you a little short on this. We've gone through, the board has gone through this. And in my view, coming to us at this point is a little premature. There's a lot of gaps in what we typically ask for as an initial presentation. Usually in this kind of a project, the applicant will have a pre-application meeting, a pre-meeting to this, so that we can clear up some of the items that in the submittal, so that we can get a little further progress on it. So things like your deed and easements that are on there, the lighting plan, landscaping plan, ZAG data statements, on and on. The list is, it's not a huge list, but it's things that get the conversation going and get us working. So what I would like to do is propose that we have the planning board secretary reach out and arrange for a meeting. It's typically an hour and a half meeting down here during the day. It's not an evening, where we can go through and detail the items in a checklist form that we're looking for to be submitted. So sometimes going slower sometimes makes you go faster, right?
Quick question, in that list, since it's already commercial property and a lot of it, and probably this time, can we check those boxes in that hour meeting.
So we can go through those things that already exist and you can ask for waivers for those requirements. And those waivers are in writing. So.
Bruce, Chair, I think it's absolutely appropriate that we do that. There's a lot that's missing. But importantly, I just need clarification because I'm confused by the application. The one part of the application is the zoning permit classification. That's done by the CEO or building inspector, and he typed it as special use. And in the application, you indicated what the existing use of the facility is. It was gym facility, an existing house, if you would, or a studio apartment. So those are the existing uses. Proposed use is a primary building and secondary building, which would be a market with food sit-down area and also preparation of takeout food, so yada, yada, yada. So based on that, existing use and new use, proposed use, he typed it as a special use permit. But on the other application, which he doesn't get involved in, you submitted this to the planning board, is the site plan and special use application. You indicated that this project there's three choices. The project is new construction, now expansion of existing use. You check that off because it's not an expansion of existing use. This is a change of use. The old use was the gym and a house. Way back when there was a use, but that has nothing to do. We skipped a couple of uses. You are a change of use, right? And the same thing in the narrative that you have here, you kind of indicate that the previous use was a food use. Well, no, it wasn't. Previous use was a gym and a house. That causes us, I mean, we knew this anyway, but that will cause us to ask a lot more questions. And you need to do more work in terms of, well, do you have enough water somewhere in here? And reading that, well, you didn't quote the amount of water you're going to be using because it's in existing use. Well, no, this is a new use. And you have to go through an estimation based upon that new use. Different standards that you would know, I don't know, we'll never review by a consultant. You need to tell us what the water use is going to be. Beyond that, this is probably in the aquifer protection area, so there's some additional protections that we're looking for in terms of that. So as the chair mentioned, there's a lot of stuff in here which I have a lot of questions about. The patio area, I don't know whether you're extending it over the river or you putting pylons in the river, or it's in the floodplain. We'll have to discuss whether we want it to be in the floodplain. Generally, we don't allow or prefer not to have any kind of structures, permanent structures in the floodplain, which may cause you to have to put it someplace else. So there's a host of things, and just a few things that I came up with. And that's
So I
what
think
we
it's
go through
appropriate
the
for you,
details.
for when we have that
That
sort
I-
of pre-app meeting, I'm more than happy to have you attend.
I
So you can come
And
with us
I'd
on
also,
that.
I'd also
So-
quickly point out, Bruce, that a lot of this stuff is not for actual waivers. You need to say lighting. We are keeping all the exact same lighting, or we will need new lighting. So they aren't waiverable things. They need to be addressed. And this is only a suggestion from me. I think maybe after you guys all have this first meeting, et cetera, this would be very good for a gateway meeting with the Ulster County.
Well,
Planning.
currently, the Ulster County,
They're doing gateway meetings.
they're not doing gateway meetings because of a pretty bad court decision that came out saying that that is a violation of open meeting law. It's on appeal.
Really,
So-
that stinks.
So it's
Okay.
something that
So it's
probably
something
don't
that
know what gateway meetings are. Now you don't have to work.
it's totally appropriate for a gateway meeting after they've changed the
After
law.
they change.
After the.
Wow, those are very helpful. Okay.
So
All right,
the other thing
very
that
helpful.
Rick didn't point out is we're driven by the CEO's decision. When he says it's a special use, that's how we do it regardless of how you go.
That sounds good, yeah. And I know that, at least from what we understand, the special use was for the market itself, for the actual market. There are grease traps, there are currently grease traps and, you know, a sizable septic system on the property, et cetera.
It's a
Which
mixed
we were
use
hoping-
location, because you have residents on there, you have business on there.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, it's gonna be a different set of,
use has changed through history, but luckily the infrastructure.
yeah.
I can see that it's there on the map, on the system map, but even parking, for example, the
Yeah.
parking requirements on one of the maps is submitted, which is an old map.
But we don't go, I think you should have a meeting on this because
Yeah.
parking could be totally
We're going
different.
through the whole thing.
Let's,
And just remember, when you do it, you have to do the entire application, even if the second
Yeah.
part comes later.
yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
we need to know what all the phases are.
See that in Boston, right?
Approximate time.
You have to proceed.
You're not gonna be held to the time, right? Like,
So the rule we're approving.
You have to proceed for segmentation.
Both phases at this.
We have to look at what the
Right,
total
that's what I'm
project
You have
is.
to do a
Because
total
it's-
project. You should know that.
Yeah, and that's actually what it's this way, we want to be complete and transparent.
Right.
And upfront.
So we'll be looking at the whole project, even though you guys are.
When you do it, it's up to you, but we gotta.
Yeah.
For seeker purpose.
All right.
And what, how
So she'll reach out, she had personal reasons to be out tonight, but then she probably could arrange it tonight before you leave, but I'll have her call you in the morning, and, you know, we'll set that up. It's, yeah, it should be fairly, hopefully this week, right? You know, if everybody's availability works out. Yeah, we're not looking at months, days.
And you have one or two planning board with Mark?
One.
Sometimes.
Woodstock has two. Yeah, you don't think so.
You have
Unless we
workshop
really have-
meetings.
We have workshop meetings, but they generally will word stuff or complicated concepts.
Town
that
board, I
needs-
Or administrative. You're limited to what you can do in a workshop. Okay.
So guys got something to start with.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Over here.
I would say, no.
And I got it.
We do want to workshop. meetings.
Yeah, so okay, so, the next item is town board referral. Do we want to, there's some, chatter about postponing these to a workshop meeting rather than tonight?
I think we should go through a good bunch of them. I don't have a comment on it. And the odds of anybody else, I think we can
Very quick, Lauren.
we can get rid of a lot of these unless other people.
You know, I don't know why people say that you're self-centered. I don't get that. I really don't.
It's not self-centered, it's full of comments. It's totally different. Totally
I
different
sent
problem.
Nicole,
So I know, Mark, you were keen on the multifamily residential units.
yeah, so I think we should check off the other boxes. I don't think what else to talk about, and then go back to that.
I think we should, why don't we try and get through multifamily residential units? And
Has everybody else looked at this or
the
not?
balance.
Through X.
Have you looked at home occupation? I have no comment
You
whatsoever.
did.
there. There's one word. Does anybody have a comment on home occupation? No, home occupation's done, no comments. Double B, anything. It's true up. Anybody have a
No.
comment? None. Double B is red. Nothing.
Affordable-
Look at it, you should have looked at it already. Okay, well,
So,
Nobody else.
nobody else's time either. It's the true up stuff. Double B, that's like the intros.
Rick, have you looked at this yet?
Affordable
I
housing,
really only think I have.
It's on multi-family.
Yeah, I have a W.
so affordable housing, there really was nothing to change. It just basically tells what we do it.
It's basically defining what we
It's
do.
defining what affordable housing is. If you have any comments, I have nothing with affordable housing. That's done.
Right,
Solar,
so I have plenty.
so solar we could punt on
leave that open.
because
Oh, I don't have any. I don't have any.
on PUD, anybody have any on PUD?
I like to. eliminate-
Please send it to them and say, yes, eliminate those things. Eliminate, get rid of them.
It doesn't apply. It's a,
It's,
It's
Okay,
a-
so we're down to
Solar?
W and X.
W and X.
Uh,
I don't have anything on solar.
There
That's
was
you.
one, and I don't know if it's true, but there is one. Maybe it's public, there's one section of the code that allows you to take a property over X amount of acres, 75, I think, or 100. And you can literally create a village.
That was the PUD, and they're getting rid of that. entirely.
That's what they're crossing.
So
That's the PUD?
that's with the PUD.
Okay,
So the
then
cross,
there's different sections of the PUD.
so what, and the PUD got rid of all residential, none of that can be done. All resort, none of that can be done. It was left in that you could have industrial and commercial, which is very small.
And I
nothing.
think just R1, right? It was a very small section. of
So you're
R1.
saying get rid of the whole thing? Get
No,
rid
the
of
town
Y.
is proposing to get rid of it. We agree with that.
Oh,
The
Yes.
town wants to get rid of it. They want our review to say, do you agree? Yes, we agree.
Yes,
Remove it all.
get rid of it.
agree, eliminate.
Get rid of the whole
That
thing.
I was,
So which one of them?
For the
It's-
PUD,
It's called
PUD.
PUD.
planned urban development,
Plan,
No, but I
Units.
mean,
Plan unit
what law?
we call it.
Okay.
look it up.
so, uh,
Planning unit, why?
Why?
C, so nothing, it's a double
So
A.
Y,
nothing
C,
double-
A, A, B, B, we're all set.
We're all set. We
Yes.
have-
W,
It's
W and X.
I
So,
do that on the work.
you want to talk about solar? Is that quick? Or
No,
It might, well, yeah,
the only reason I say is because my multifamily conversation, I think I pretty much made the shell shock on the last meeting about it.
I don't remember even what you said about it.
Oh my God. Well, it's pretty important.
Yeah.
It brought up a pretty big and valid point. So
Yes, maybe we need
I
to,
don't think we got into it that much.
we got into it, but not in this
No,
context.
we
Bruce
got
wasn't on the board when we went through it.
no, Bruce was here. We talked about
We
this
talked
because of
about it for 2
conversion.
minutes last.
We did.
so I can
submit-
present my concerns
Yeah.
again, but mine are probably much more lengthy than solar. So how do
So
you
what
guys
do we
want
want to know? What solar is X?
I'd rather wait till next time. So it's, we need a larger buffer zone.
It's in there,
It's really consists of those letters that we sent back in 2020.
and that's,
I think those have been
that's
added.
in there. Hold on, let's get the shared with me.
I actually sent an email to Nicole saying, I don't have any on any of these. Isn't that rare?
Where's-
So solar, Rick, you wanna?
Let me go there.
Because yes, it was increased substantially.
Okay, and that was taken care of.
Hold on, one items. Which numbers solar is,
And the other one, the other
and added in your idea, which is your natural.
The other idea that I had, and I think it was in the, those letters that we sent a long time ago, to allow solar in areas where it's currently prohibited, agricultural.
It's here.
It's here.
And the idea, is it in there?
Yeah.
The idea
So I will
being
read
that
to,
all has been subdivided their property.
Yes.
Once in order to provide.
I will read exactly, so it's removed. It is now called solar due purpose use with a continuing agricultural use. So large scale solar energy systems are out of AB three. That was, they will be allowed in AR three only if it's your dual use. No, just plain large scale,
Is that what that means?
solely dual purpose use continuing with a continuing agricultural use. So AB three is out because AB three is right along, right on the edge. All our AB three is the front of Elder, the front of, Alonzo's. So obviously you don't want
209 Boyce Mill
Right.
to,
dual purpose it's page 10. Dual purpose agricultural use plus large scale solar energy systems shall be permitted in the AR3 zoning district. For the use, the parcel shall remain in active agricultural production at all times. Dual purpose solar shall be under 2 megawatts and shall be less than 10 acres. Subdivision of parcels cannot be used to circumvent the restriction. Dual purpose agriculture and solar shall be regulated by ag and market for the agricultural portion and regulated by town of Rochester solar law for the solar portion. The land under the panel shall be used contemporaneously and continuously as crop or pasture for the life of the dual purpose agricultural solar energy system. The agricultural use of the operation shall be maintained for the life of the solar system use. If the agricultural use is discontinued, the solar use shall also be terminated contemporaneously. If the solar use is terminated and the solar installation must be decommissioned, the 140-77K, and the lands shall return to agricultural use. So that's pretty much what you wrote, that you could do it in the AR3 area, but you have to be farming at all times. The moment you stop farming, you lift those things out of there.
So, all right, Mike.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
we just, so if you go and I'm going to write them down. What we'll do now? Yes, answering this question.
I'm answering his question. He asked the question. Was this included? Yes. And he also setback is a big problem. And I'm
Yeah,
answering the question, the setback now, a minimum of 250 feet from the property lines or 2 times the standard setback in a zoning district, whichever is greater. Setback shall be inclusive of screening and shall be measured to the edge of the solar panels. So we've increased, it's either probably 250 is gonna be the max, if we don't have anything, any setbacks that are greater than 40. So that was increased to 250 feet. So that was a big problem on our thing.
And I'm thrilled that they made a coastal bond to decommission.
And you have to, with the CPI, that'll hurt right now, and a 15% over it.
Okay, so I got mine. So going back to that rate,
Ag.
yeah, section 4, it's on page 10.
Yep.
Section 4, for the purpose, as you started reading. See, it says land of the panel shall be used contemporaneously. So the assumption is that you'd be able to use the land under the panel. And that was what I was thinking, and I agree with that, that's great. What I was also thinking is that they could use some of the land, they could break off a piece of the land one time and just say this is entirely solar, I'm not doing any farming on that property, and the rest of the property remains as that. Still in the ownership of this farmer. He's running short on money, he knows, down the road, he's gonna need money to do whatever, to continue to be in farming. So if he wants to split off 5, 10 acres, and have to define how much, and just do it as solar. No farming on that particular parcel. Stays in the same name, stays in the same ownership, and it's done
Zoning
once.
district.
It's done once for this parcel. You can't do it once this year, come back 3 years and say, okay, this part that's still in ag, I want to subdivide it again. So it gives him the ability not to have to try to raise and do things under the solar panel, which is doable. But generally, it's when you have sheep, goats, that kind of thing. This is, you just want it to be solar, I'm gonna lease it, I'm gonna make money off of it, and everything else stays in farming. That's what I was thinking about. And that's what I saw this, I said, well, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, you wrote this.
I know I did. I recognize it now.
So sorry.
So I had an
You.
addition, and this is fine. But I think we should add something in there. I
My
don't-
difficulty with that is if you have the size limit, you're never going to get the commercial, the guys aren't gonna want it.
Who's not gonna want it?
Central Hudson isn't gonna want it, a commercial large scale solar
Borrego.
person isn't, Borrego isn't gonna want it.
Well, then maybe define it in terms of how many megawatts. So how many, as the technology changes, one of the problems we have is we define tons of acres.
1
As
megawatt,
technology changes,
1
we're gonna be able to
megawatt,
get
5
more megawatts onto a smaller piece of property. So why not change it and put it in terms of megawatts? So what's the minimum amount that Orange Rock or Central Hudson would do? 10? So how much land do you need for 10?
Right now, you need a huge piece of land, that's a problem. So
Well,
now
you
they
need-
convert their whole,
Well, what was our,
10
Well,
megawatt.
look what they did in Warsaw.
so what was our landfill?
That's
That's
awful.
10 megawatts, right?
No, it's 2.
that's two.
2 megawatts. And what was the size of the property? Then?
It's like 20
20 some odd
plus acres. It doesn't work right now. The technology isn't there.
So maybe we say 5 acres at most, 5 megawatts. That translates into 40 acres. Somebody has a 300-acre parcel of land with 500.
Well, they're around, yeah.
20, 30, 40 acres.
But not in our agricultural. No, I totally disagree, because at that, you've got Sonderkill.
Yeah.
That's
That's exactly what I was
it.
thinking of.
After that, Everybody else has gone in conservation easement, they're not
That's
gonna,
not true. What about the DeGraw farm on Cherry Town Road? It's got 350 acres.
Or what's his name, right up on Sampsonville, as you go up on the right, or, yeah. Is it Sampsonville on the
That-
right hand side there? or is it-
so Sampsonville will be
City Hayes.
fantastic. Sampsonville is a scenic route for hiking, and now you're going to have Pine Ridge, and you're going to have solar panels. Is that really what we want? That's enormous set of, it's a lot of solar panels.
And,
That's
looking-
way too many.
Looking from 5,
Right.
Looking
That's
from
an
50
embarrassment.
Looking from 55 down, it's not gonna pass the
That's
view
so-
shed. Yeah, it's bad enough. but
Well, the camp on Cherry Town Road now has a solar farm, right, Martin?
Yes.
This is my, so
They do.
this is a general.
It was before we
Before we had
actually,
solar.
and we don't have to approve anything for them.
Chair, sorry.
All right, well, this is, I know I wrote this, I stand by this.
So I
Right.
stand by this, but that other stuff is gonna be, you're gonna take out massive amounts, and that's all that we want, is to take those massive amounts
So
of
I think
farmland.
maybe we postpone a decision on this.
I'm okay with, I see what you're saying. I hadn't thought through how many acres you need to take down in order to make it economically viable. That's only 2 megawatts? The one that we did in the landfill?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, and that's 25 acres.
Right.
I mean,
What's behind Adam
but
Paddock's?
now,
Okay, that's 25.
new guidance came on, solar. So the rule of thumb like 1 megawatt.
1 megawatt, 5 acres.
so that's where we have the under 2 megawatts, it shall be less than 10 acres. You sort of get 2 megawatts and 10 acres. Now, they could use this for all of their operations, obviously. They don't even need to come to us for something like that. But I think the real reality is also here, we have to have this good solar law in place. We're tapped out, so there's not gonna be any more solar really in the Rondell Valley because the grid of Central Hudson, unless the technology gets so much better,
It's,
they're tapped out.
between Marbletown, us,
Isn't that
and
crazy?
Washington.
You mean, you can take.
They can't
They
handle
can't
it.
handle it, no. Why do you, one of the reasons we have all of these outages all the time is because of the unreliability of the grid, not unreliability of the. No,
So
the
let's
ups and
just
downs.
wrap it up. What about
Solar
X?
spikes.
Are we good with X?
Yeah, I'm
We're
good.
good
We're
with
good with
X?
X, yep.
Okay.
So we
Mark,
just have,
W.
Okay, so I remember us having this conversation at the workshop meeting about defining.
Hold on, I have a question about that.
yes,
Sorry. Why we don't allow on a slope? It's a good position to slope.
I think it's because most of all of our slope stuff happens to be in incredible view shed places. And we had enormous problems with that. It takes care of the problem. You're right.
Firm road.
For showing the whole Firm Road issue. When you go over to, on the other side, for Mohawk's gonna see it, and then Watson's gonna see it, Catholic State Park's gonna see it, and they're always gonna look at it. But they are good for
Yeah.
facing.
Yeah, you
But-
see it. All right, moving on to W. So
I just want to call it. The red
I gotta
line.
pull W up, the,
Oh, and I have the notes. So notes from the board one. We need to discuss this local law as a key potential.
yeah, so Chair, I'll just give a brief overview of
Sure.
my. So
And maybe it'll come back.
yeah, we discussed briefly the definition of a single-family home, a two-family home, and a multi-family home. Now is it coming back?
Yes.
Okay. In certain designations, zoning districts, we have large tracts of land that would allow for multifamily to put a 3 or 4 family high,
Right, limited by the height restriction.
limited by the height restrictions in our reduced zoning areas, such as the Hamlet Business District, R1s, R2, AR3, ABD. We need to review this because currently there is land in the Hamlet. I'll use the Hamlet as an example. I think it's
200 acres, I think?
221 acres in the Hamlet that would allow 4 family homes. So now, talking out loud, not the best at math, but 884 dwellings in the hamlet.
Half of it has to be open space.
Half it has to be open space.
So you've got, let's make it easy. 300, you have 150 acres and 100, so that 100.
700, 650 houses.
We can't do 650 houses.
650
Dwellings.
Units,
Dwellings,
units, even
units.
worse, not even units.
So I think that if this is not as I said at the last meeting, if this is not the biggest red flag of all, we have a serious problem. And I think that the answer, and as I mentioned to the chair last time, I'll say it again, I don't necessarily know how to fix it because affordable housing is important. But I think that we need to focus on what tracts of land are designated in what zoning district. We can do it that way and keep the code as it is. So we just limit what tracts are where, or we need to rewrite this entire code to justify what a multifamily is allowed to be, where a multifamily can be put, and hypothetically, in what districts do we want to see this quote unquote multifamily, which could be affordable housing, it could be
It's just multifamily.
it could be anything.
People like to think of it as affordable housing. Multifamily, it could be a bunch of condos.
You could have high rise.
It could have,
Well, you
well,
can
no,
go 35
you
feet.
can go 35 feet. You could have three,
So now you remember the conversation. Okay.
It's coming back to me.
Yep. So although I don't know the answer,
Yeah.
okay, I know the problem. And I think that the problem is the biggest red light in the room, the pink elephant, that we need to.
I wonder if some of it's limited by.
So right now, Rick, it's limited by designation, where you are.
Yeah, no, but it's limited by water, sewer.
no, it's
and
even
traffic
worse.
control.
Yeah, but.
It's even worse because hypothetically, anybody who's gonna could put a water,
If you put in, they're treated as major subdivision. If you put in a sewer system, you get even more density.
Density.
So right now, I have an example, a hamlet with central sewage, you get one dwelling unit per acre.
Where are you looking at?
I just did in my head. You got 100 acres. 50 acres have to stay open for a major subdivision. The other 50 acres can have 100 dwelling units, but you get a bonus.
Right.
Because,
100% bonus.
no, not because you're in a hamlet, because you put in
But you
septic. You
Right.
put in septic anywhere.
Municipal
Septic
water
system,
zone.
Municipal water zone, so we could end up, we do not have, we can't even do EMS for what we have right now. We need a full police force. We need a full-time fire department, like, we probably don't need multifamily anywhere in
Anywhere.
this town, period, end of discussion.
Right.
Multifamily should be in Ellenville, it should be in Saugerties, it should be in Kingston, that is good
So-
urban development.
Right, so the pushback you're gonna get on, right, is
Affordable.
I want my aged parent to be able to have an in-law suite.
Sure.
We already have that.
We already have accessory dwelling.
We
That's a
did it.
multifamily.
No, it isn't.
No, that's
No, it
accessory
isn't.
dwelling.
That's accessory dwelling. We made an accessory dwelling law that is already passed and on the books. So you're allowed to
Yeah.
have a 750
Yeah,
square
yeah.
foot and
Right.
smaller. Period.
Remember,
Discussion.
multifamily
We
is
addressed
just 3 or more in one building.
That's not your grandmother. That's your grandmother, your
Yeah.
aunt, and your uncle. That's the whole extended Italian
Yeah.
family.
The only multifamily that I know of currently in the hamlet, remember, multifamily, 3 or more, not 2 family, is right next door at the old laundromat. There's a house that Jason Wright used to own, and it's a 5-family. But it's delinquent, it's dilapidated, it hasn't been used, and actually Ulster County Department of Housing has taken that off the tax roll, and they are going to utilize it as Hamlet of Accord, multifamily, affordable housing, which, great. But we don't need 45 more of them.
So what's the proposal?
The proposal
So
is,
eliminate-
like I said, 2 options. 1, no multifamily anywhere. Or 2, we need to reclassify by list. We need to pull an Excel list from the county of the tracts of land in these small designated districts and rezone them or eliminate them from the multifamily zoning density plan.
So AR3 was eliminated as one of them by the zoning review committee. Our town board put that back in, that we could have multifamily AR3. Doesn't mention anything of what AR3 is. It's supposed to be agricultural. R2, you have the same problem. So
Well,
AB3, we really don't have much of that. I guess you could say yes to that. R1, Hamlet and B, but we still have to, we have a Hamlet that Mr. owns. that is.
Monstrosity.
It's humongous. It will make Scarsdale here. I mean, we don't have any of the resources. It's 200, it's close to 200 acres that is zoned as a hamlet. That needs to be just along the road.
So Chair, the recommendation is rezone those tracts to eliminate them from the hamlet. Or take the hamlet out of this code,
Out of the code.
Out of the.
Yeah,
which
I
I don't
think
care the answer. It
I
doesn't
don't think
matter.
you can even wait to take the hamlet out. The definition of a hamlet. maybe
You should have
it's-
multifamily, right?
Right.
Totally agree.
So
So
you
his
need to
his
take
land
those-
needs to be rededicated.
Right.
We need to rezone
And
our
you
hamlet.
definitely should not, you shouldn't have AR3 or AB.
I don't think anything with an A in
But I
it.
agree.
Any- AR3, AB3 should be out.
Is R2 in?
R2 is in.
R2
Your
should
house.
be out.
That means your house could turn into,
75 places.
right,
Exactly.
that
Doing it
doesn't work in
tomorrow.
our town.
I'm building, so
Right.
we're going up.
So
Exactly.
right now, it's the business district, the hamlet, and the R1 shall not exceed twice the number of units. And multifamily in AR3, AB3, and zoning in R2 shall not exceed the number of units.
See, this is the issue that, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna
I'm good.
rewind a little bit. The issue that I have with a lot of this is that you're zoned in a certain district.
Yep.
But the plot that you own is typically larger, right? So I'm in R2 and one of my plots is 10 acres.
You should be R5, right?
Right, so,
PL
so
10.
what happens is because you're in that, so we say, oh, this guy has 100 acres, we're fine with him putting up this structure. or this-
Beautiful.
Because he's
6,000
got more than enough room to do it. And it just like solar. The guy has 100 acres, but he's in 50 individual lots. And he's saying, I'm splitting it, 50 of it is for solar. I split it once, and now he's got other lots that he can keep splitting and splitting. and
Yeah, you end
splitting,
up
right?
with
So,
rural sprawl. The
It's
number
that-
one worst thing.
so
of-
it gets back to, and this is something that we had in earlier ones, that doctrine of merger for zoning. Where it says that the same owner owns lots that are contiguous with one another, they're treated as one. That's what.
So if you had 75 acres in R2, you would be R,
You would still be R2,
but
but all 75 acres would be treated like it's 2 acres.
I see. So
So
what,
you wouldn't be able to subdivide at all?
You would be able to subdivide, if that's what you want to do, but
It doesn't solve this problem though.
no, it does, because what it says is now that 200 acres is treated like one.
but you just said I can subdivide it.
You can still subdivide it. Yeah,
So
200
I-
acres is one,
I think the
is one
solution
lot.
that you have
I-
is to take them out of the hamlet. Why do you have 200 acres on the hamlet?
Right. That's
So
not a
the
hamlet.
question that I
There's
have,
no road. You have to build a whole new city.
the question that I have
But he
is,
can't, because we took out the part.
the
Nobody
question,
could build this.
the question that I have is,
No, you totally
if we
build
take a
this.
step back and think about what people outside of our area are looking to do in our area, right? Okay, take a step back and say, whoa, what are they doing elsewhere? This is what they're looking for. They want your property because they can do what they want to do there. They want this hamlet, that large tract of land, because they can, the law allows them to do what they want. Now, granted, they got to come in front of us and they could be here a year, but hypothetically, they could build 40 houses there tomorrow and never come in front of us one time. As long as it's the same owner.
And if you read,
No, they don't. Density requires it. There's no subdivision.
what?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's a major sub, any multifamily is a major subdivision also.
Okay.
Yes,
So they do have to come in front of us.
you have to come in front of us.
You're
But
right.
it doesn't mean that we can, the bigger question here is, we cannot sustain it because we're supposed to look for the health, safety, and welfare of the town.
Right.
And seriously,
In
you
fact,
wanna
both
see-
of those
you think
go
your
right
ta-
out.
you
The
think your
health and safety
taxes,
are thrown out the door.
right, you
when
think
you're
your
at-
taxes are bad now? Wait until we have to fund a full police force, a full fire force, a full,
You're coming to it, Orange County dealt with this like 40 years ago.
It just hasn't made it
They,
here yet.
they sort of, kind of, and I'm not talking about particular sects of people, what they did. What they decided, the zoning, everything was 1 acre, 2 acres. Didn't have water, didn't have sewer. So they decided at the county level, they were gonna put in major water systems and major sewer system. That was at the county level.
Right.
And so then you had Orange County City with 1, 2, and blah, 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 blah. And then that was the end of it. You had all these 1 acres most of them were on, lakes, streams, or whatever. You couldn't build because you couldn't get the septic that you needed. Well, once you put in the sewer system.
You do anything you want.
you don't see water. So, I've always said there's sort of a limiting factor here, and that we don't have central sewer, we don't have central water. And you can get around that.
Sure.
But you, of course, it's very expensive.
I mean, look at the
But-
Worley development. They've
So,
had community water for as long as I'm alive.
yeah, but anyway, I agree with you that these, something like that.
So Mark, I think we all agree that your two options are the viable options.
Are the, right? And it doesn't matter
So what
what,
I would suggest is,
Well,
if you could
both
write
at
up
the
those
same time.
options in detail. Sure. We agree that we're tasked, the board is going to make a motion to task you to write those options up. And we'll include them in the letter to them.
Yeah.
I
Because
like
you're
the
the one
second.
that's most, I like
Me too.
Right.
Because the other one, I don't think you're gonna be certain. I don't think you do that.
I don't either, but it is an option. Right.
Right, so
I'll get you that tomorrow.
I make a motion.
And in
To have-
addition to AR three should come out, maybe should come out.
Yes, entirely.
We, yeah. we
And
talked-
R2.
and
Those are in my notes to Nicole.
So I make a
So,
motion to have Mark write up the findings that we have on local law.
Two options.
That's
two options, but also eliminating the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yep,
second.
that's,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Sure.
See?
Thank you, Mark.
We
Nope.
can do this.
So those are my, I think y'all,
Back to you.
you remember now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
I
harder
don't know
thing
what I
here
was
is, because each little town works so separately
Everybody's on their own island.
on their own island is we do need different forms of housing, but it needs to be in a city with a bus service. And then everything, so it needs to be in Kingston, it needs
It's
to
not
be
here.
in the towns. And this is, John Dawson said it ages ago when he was on the board. Face it, we are, a rural commuter.
Right.
We're a bedroom.
We're a bedroom community and probably should stay that way. And good urban planning agglomerates and develops the city, Kingston being developed is fantastic. You should keep doing the Kingston stuff.
Yeah, there's clearly a push on the part of some people in this town. They want to see rural gentrification, which is a cutesy term, which essentially means, you're eventually gonna have to put in the municipal, this, that, the other, and the taxes will go through the roof. And it's like, forget about it. Okay. Can afford it.
Exactly.
Make a
Most
motion.
people, many
What?
people do.
Yeah, a
We have other
motion to.
I know.
What?
Okay.
Oh,
Approval of the minutes,
yes, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
A motion to cancel the 11/28 workshop,
Oh, we don't have to, because it's, oh, yeah, must, yeah,
Yeah,
right, yeah. we
I'll
just-
make it.
Motion.
Yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
I will get to-
Now the big one.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Aye.
I'll
Seconded,
second.
aye.
I'll second. Aye.
Right.
So-
Let me come out of Zoom first.
I'll give you an example, what you just said, right, like, well, we bought a house in South Carolina, outside of Charleston. It takes